This is Vermont Edition. I'm Michaela Lafrac. Vermonters are very particular about our ice cream. Makes sense. I mean, we live in the land of milk and maple syrup, after all. Stop a person on the street, and I bet you that they can rattle off their favorite creemee spot and their order. Depending on the day, mine is black raspberry in a cake cone or maple in a waffle cone if you've got one. Hold the sprinkles. Today is our annual Vermont Edition ice cream show. We'll hear from some of your favorite frozen treat spots in the region about how business is going as we head towards the end of the season. We're also creating a big old list of your favorite places to get ice cream, and you'll be able to find that later today on vermontpublic.org. Asa Waterworth of the Creemee Chronicles Instagram account has eaten an enormous and impressive amount of creemees this summer. Dozens, she estimates. She takes photos of her cones and offers up recommendations on her Instagram. Asa and I grabbed a cone together down by the Burlington waterfront at a place called Ice Cream Evans earlier this week. And we actually got a shout out for Ice Cream Evans from a listener already. Annie in Burlington says, when it comes to creamies, I consider myself a connoisseur, and my favorite by far is Ice Cream Evans at the waterfront. His is the best because it's full of flavor and it reminds me of gelato, which I prefer to ice cream. My favorite is maple with sprinkles. We're going to play you the conversation that I had with Asa right now, and then we'll take some of your creemee calls live. Hi, thanks for having a creemee with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, so we found out about you on Instagram. Mm-hmm. You have been chronicling all of the creamies that you eat for how long now?
Officially since the summer of 2021, but I think that my kind of creemee chronicling quest began in the summer of 2020 when my friend Glenn and I decided to challenge ourselves and hold each other accountable to each eat 50 creamies over the course of the summer.
That's a lot of creamies in a couple months.
It is. So I've kind of tuned it back to maybe like 50 a year now. But I try to do my best to eat as many creamies as possible.
And did this journey begin in Vermont?
Yes, it did. And I mostly chronicle creamies within the state of Vermont. Sometimes I'll go across the border. I have some spots that I love in Quebec in particular. But yeah, all in Vermont. I'm a Vermonter. I grew up in Pittsfield on Route 100. Remember eating a lot of creamies at my local store there, one of two in the town. It was a DIY creemee situation, so you got to basically buy the cone and then fill it up yourself as big as you wanted, as wonky as you wanted, as perfect as you wanted. So as much as I would love to kind of get into a creemee spot now and like do my own, it's been a while. But yeah, mostly trying to go as many places as I can in Vermont.
Well, let's start with where we are today, Ice Cream Evans in Burlington. We are at, what would you call this? Kind of a nexus of multiple creemee locations.
Yeah, you've got a lot of creemee spots down here on the bike path in just kind of a block, if you could call it a block, between Burlington Bay and the Echo little trailer truck parked in the Echo roundabout, and Ice Cream Evans and the new spot on the dock. So you can't go wrong.
And what are you having today?
I just went simple classic with a small maple creemee in a cone.
I'm having a black raspberry. It doesn't say black raspberry.
How is it?
It's really good. I feel like this is maybe an unpopular opinion, but I can prefer black raspberry to maple.
No, I don't think that's unpopular, but that is a question that I ask a lot, is why is black raspberry one kind of like a go-to creamy flavor, and why mixed with maple?
What have you found out?
I'm not against it. I haven't found anything out, so I would love folks to chime in if they have answers.
All right, well, we'll talk about it on the show, I am sure. So there are, as you just mentioned, a lot of great creemee spots in Burlington, but so many all around the state. Do you feel like you've gotten to hit every corner?
I don't want to say yes. I think there's still many more creamies to be had and many more spots to explore. I try to do my best to go to places when I'm en route to somewhere else. I have a map with some pins and I try to make a stop and see what's nearby. But I've not hit them all, and I'm always open to suggestions. I'll add those to my map and then I'll try to hit them up. But yeah, I love hearing from other folks about what their favorite creemee places are.
So you've been chronicling these creemees on Instagram
Yes.
for years now. What's the process like? Do you write a review? Do you just take a photo and say where you were? What do you do?
Yeah, I tend to just kind of take a photo and say where I was, tag the spot if they have an Instagram account, tell folks what town it's in. If there's any key details that I think should be shared, I share those, right? Like if it was particularly amazing or there's something special about the ingredients, right? It's farm to cone. There's some fresh berries from the field that are mixed right into the mix. If the waffle cone is homemade, if there's maple dust in many flavors that you get to choose from, so folks know why that might be a special spot to hit up.
Maple dust.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
You have a favorite spot for that?
Most recently where I was introduced to that idea was at Silloway in Randolph. They have a lot of different flavored maple dust and they're all included. So I love a free topping.
Okay, so let's talk about some other favorite spots of yours. So there's lots of different ways to rate a maple creemee.
Yeah.
Is there some like special metric that you ascribe to?
I kind of steer clear of ratings because I feel like they're kind of subjective.
Yeah.
I've seen folks rate creamies and I personally don't necessarily agree with their ratings, so I figure I shouldn't rate because people might not agree with me either. I'd rather leave it up to them to kind of try for themselves and make their own opinions. But I love when a creemee is creamier rather than icy. Gotta have kind of the perfect amount of maple. It is possible, I think, to have too much maple in the mix, though I love maple syrup, don't get me wrong.
I'm grimacing because I just got a brain freeze.
Oh,
Not
no.
because I
I know,
disagree
that
with
happens,
you, which
that
always
happens.
happens to me.
That happens,
Do you
yeah.
get them too? Are you wiser than me now that you've been doing this for years?
Yeah, with a creemee, usually not. But I do eat kind of slow. I feel like people are often amazed by how slowly I can eat ice cream. And today is a kind of a cooler day, so luckily it's not melting too fast.
Yeah.
But that's sometimes the struggle is me running away from the creemee spot to go take a picture near something pretty, but it's melting and I'm running across the sidewalk. It's a scene.
Any tips for taking a great creemee photo? Because you have some really beautiful shots on your Instagram.
I like to turn the cone around to see where the little curl on top is, if there's any chips in the cone, to kind of turn those to the back. A beautiful background. I like colors. Flowers are great. I'll give a shout out, if I'm allowed to do that, to the downtown city market. I love going to Little Gordo's and then kind of scampering across the parking lot to pose my creemee in front of the beautiful flowers that they have at City Market. And I have run into the gardener on occasion and complimented them on the flowers because I do depend on those for my little creemee photo shoots.
I bet they appreciate that. Do you have a max? Like, is there a number of... have you had multiple creamies in one day?
Yeah, my max was 3.
Okay. Seems like a wise number to stop at.
Yeah. Kind of spread out, but that is a lot of creemee to consume. So usually like a double day is better, more wise, I think.
So talk to me about some of the other places around the state that you've been that have stuck out to you. You've been going to so many for so many years. Are there some that, I don't know, you have a special memory at, or a particularly special creemee?
Yeah. I love when folks are innovative. I think about a place in Brattleboro that has organic creamies, which is pretty cool because I haven't really seen those anywhere else, so their mix is organic. I love kind of a farm to cone when folks blend berries I'm a big berry fan, directly into the mix. So shout out, I would say, to Full Belly Farm in Moncton. They do a great job of that. I actually got engaged there in June and ended that really beautiful strawberry picking engagement day with a strawberry creemee, which was just kind of perfect.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. What else? Usually I'm kind of a purist when it comes to, like, I want my creemee in a cone. But that is to say, I will eat, something like the Brain Freeze up in Allen Home Orchards in South Hero, which is kind of apple cider slushy, layered. Talk about a brain freeze. That is
I know.
The recipe for one.
Lethal.
But so good, especially if you just biked across the causeway and you stop for that cold sweet treat. Also at Yates in Moncton with the apple cider donut and the apple pie filling and the caramel drizzle and the creemee on top. That's amazing. Love to bring my friends who visit in the fall directly there.
I mean, what could be better than that?
Yeah, like skip lunch.
It's a ridiculous invention. It's so good.
It's really incredible. I just saw that they posted their opening soon, so I can't wait. Mark your calendars.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Cut this or not. I don't know, man. It's so good. Okay, so the name creemee.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about why they're called creemees in Vermont and something else in other parts of the country?
Mm-hmm. It's my understanding that to be a creemee, it has to have 10% milk fat. Who's out there measuring? I'm not really sure. But I just love that. I feel like Vermont does things differently in a lot of ways. It's one of the things I love about Vermont. So let's call an ice cream in a cone like that a creemee instead of a soft serve. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And let's spell it a bunch of different ways too. I'm a double E kind of person, but I know that different places across the state spell it all kinds of ways.
Yeah. There's the double E-I-E, the E-A.
Yeah.
E-E.
Or like E-M-E.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have fellow creemee enthusiasts in your family?
I would say my family is supportive of my creemee endeavors. And I feel like some of their friends even will send me photos of them,
Really?
Eating ice creams across the state or telling me, for example, most recently, not technically in the state, but about a creemee stand at the Home Depot in West Lebanon.
Amazing.
Haven't been there yet.
What a great thing to get after buying home supplies.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they love eating creemees too. I'll give them credit for raising me to love creemees very much and dairy. All things dairy, really.
True Vermonter.
Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of dairy, there are some good non-dairy creemee options out there. Any favorites?
Really loved what Offbeat was up to.
Yes.
So delicious, really inventive and flavors. They were always really willing to give me as many flavors kind of as I wanted, or like put a little twist of just one other flavor, give me a little scoop of a hard ice cream with the rest of my creemee. I want to try all the flavors. So really loved what they were doing. Fancies has in the Old North End.
Oh, right. That's in Burlington, too. Okay.
Has, I believe, some non-dairy creemee options. Not in a cone, but in a dish. And have had some really delicious, like, sundae type of things up there.
Nice.
From them. Yeah. So I'm all for alternative milk options as well.
And what's the response been like to your Instagram account? What kind of things do people write to you?
I'm kind of surprised this summer in particular, actually. I've had a few people write to me saying, hey, I'm visiting from XYZ. I'm going to be in this part of Vermont. Do you have any recommendations? Which is really flattering. And so I typically take a look at my map, see if anything comes to mind, let them know if it does or if it doesn't. I definitely had some folks coming for the eclipse who wrote to me last year, which was fun. And I feel like it's been a really nice way to kind of connect with the community, like it brings me joy. I think I like to hope that it brings other people joy. I feel like it's something that's pretty accessible. Most people have a creemee stand nearby or have a favorite creemee place. So it's something that's kind of easy to connect with a lot of folks about all across the state.
Yeah.
And so I've really, really enjoyed connecting with people over creemees.
And when for you does creemee season end?
Never.
Okay, so we're starting to feel a little bit of a chill in the air.
I know. I've been slacking a little this summer. My consumption is definitely down. But, creemee, summer's coming to an end, sadly, but creemee season is forever. So I'll keep chronicling. through the year as to the best of my ability. I mean, a lot of places close in the winter, but some stay open, and I appreciate that because I still want a creemee in the winter. I feel like this past spring, there was a huge snowfall in Burlington. I put on my cross-country skis. I skied down St. Paul Street, down Church Street, all the way to Little Gordo's, took off my skis, got a creemee, and then skied home. And that was amazing. Like, talk about a memorable creemee. Yeah.
Wow. I'm very impressed. Good luck. Godspeed.
Thank you.
On your journey.
Thank you so much.
It's been great sharing a creemee with you, Asa.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yay. That was Asa Waterworth of Burlington, and you can find her on Instagram at Creemee Chronicles. I'm also loving seeing your own creemee and ice cream recommendations hit our inbox. Lori in South Burlington writes, there are so many good creemies in Vermont, but Papa Nick's Pizza and Restaurant in Heinsberg blew me away this year with their innovation when it comes to creemee creativeness. Take homemade baklava, which is a simple yet lovely dessert with phyllo dough, honey, and walnuts in multiple layers. Then add the creamiest vanilla creemee. It's hands down perfection. And Matthew in Alberg says his favorite creemee shop is Devon's Creemee Stand in Swanton. He says it's the amazing and wonderful ice cream shop for Franklin and Grand Isle counties. Coming up, we are going to be joined live by two creemee making experts, so be sure to stick around. You could also call in your own recommendations to 800-639-2211 or email Vermont Edition at vermontpublic.org. More of our annual ice cream show after this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Vermont Edition. I'm Michaela Lefrak. Today is our annual ice cream show where we all collectively revel in our region's rich dairy output and share our favorite local spots for ice cream, creemies, and non-dairy frozen treats. We are joined now by two experts in the art of the creemee. Hannah Connor is the cafe and kitchen manager at Red Hen Baking Company in Middlesex. Hannah, welcome.
Thank you.
And we have Jess Yates with us. She joins us from Yates Family Orchard in Moncton. Jess, welcome.
Thank you.
Hannah, Red Hen is primarily known as a bakery, but you all started making creemies a couple of years ago. Why that shift into this new territory?
Yeah, well, I think most people can understand that after COVID, there were a lot of business reinventions.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we did during COVID was cut a hole in the wall and make a window so we could do curbside bakery service. So after, when we opened back up again indoors, we thought, well, what do we do with this window? And the clear answer, of course, was maple creemies.
And do you serve just maple creemies, or do you have other options?
We have always a second rotating option. So maple all the time. And then a flavor that changes weekly.
Maple all the time would be a really good name for a creemee stand if we were to open an independent one. And just when did your family business start selling creemies?
We started 8 seasons ago. I think this is our 8th season, if I recall.
Okay. And I feel like I have other questions for you, but I feel like we have to go straight to the dreamy.
We do.
We do. It's sensational. What is it?
So the Dreamy is our hot cider donut. We do all of our donuts anytime, hot to order. They're hand-rolled, hand-cut.
Hot to go, if you will.
Hot to go. They're hand-rolled, hand-cut. And the Dreamy is a creation of our hot cider donut and then topped in creemee, and that's the dreamy. And then from there, we level it up with variations of toppings. So we have a midnight dreamy that puts our homemade hot fudge on top of it. We have the Dreamy Supreme, which is our hot cider donut topped in creemee, but then it's our homemade hot apple pie filling and homemade caramel on top of that. So that's and we're always coming up with new variations because it's just too much fun.
Yeah, I have had the Dreamy. It truly is just magical. I did not know that you had all these variations. There's a fig one too.
Yes. So we have a gentleman who grows figs in Moncton, and you can purchase his figs Sundays and Wednesdays at the orchard. And so last year, there were a couple of figs that were left over, and we just happened to put a little bit of ice cream with the figs, and we were like, wow, this is out of sight. A fresh fig is just something that's really unusual. And so put the two together, and we came up with a Figgy Dreamy.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so this is like a secret menu? Are we getting like an inside scoop, or is this published? People know.
People know, but
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. But we're always coming up with new variations because, it's fun.
And Hannah, I know that you all have been experimenting with some really cool flavors for that second flavor. What are some of the ones that you've been trying out this summer?
We haven't tried a whole lot of new flavors this summer. We've we kind of recycled them over the years.
Sure.
One flavor we tried this summer that was new is based on our Bellamina, which is an espresso drink, honey, cinnamon, and espresso. So that was one of the first flavors we made. And kind of a very popular, almost cult following is the lemon basil pink peppercorn, which has basil from Bare Roots Farm, which is right, their farm stands right down the road from us. And then pink peppercorns and some lemon oil. And it's pretty amazing.
Lemon, basil, pink peppercorn. This random question, but what color is that ice cream?
It's green.
It's green? Okay, because the basil. I was wondering which flavor would win out. Well, we're getting calls in from you all with your favorite creemee and ice cream spots. Let's go first to Dan, who is in Jericho. Dan, go ahead.
Hello, how are you today?
Doing well. Oh, Dan, I see you are from a place that gets mentioned all the time when we talk about ice cream, Palmer Lane.
Yeah. So I obviously heard what was going on today and was lucky enough to get on. My name is Dan Phelan. Along with my wife, Jessica Phelan, we purchased Palmer Lane Maple July 1st of this year.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
So you have a very storied history to uphold there. What are your plans for the business?
Well, I know the biggest question and or concern from all the listeners is probably what is going to happen now that new owners have taken over the reins of Palmer Lane Maple, such a well-established and proven establishment in the community. And the response is absolutely nothing. Nothing's changing. Same high quality, same consistent service, same product, maple syrup that we have been using, that they have been using, and now we are for quite some time. And, under the tutelage of the Palmers, we've, learned the ins and outs of the business and the secrets, if you will, of what has made them so successful with their creemees. And, we're just kind of taking it and just keeping it going.
Wow, well, that's exciting. We're so glad that the place will continue. It is much beloved by many people all across Vermont. And thanks, Dan, for calling in. Good luck to you and your wife with the business. One of the things that we talk about during our ice cream show all the time is this debate over milk fat content and the importance that percentage holds in the type of creemee you're going to get. Jess, can you talk us through your creemee's ingredients?
Yeah, so we use some of Kingdom Creamery Wilcox ice cream. It's 10% milk fat. And then blend in some of the flavors like our cider ice cream. But the 10% milk fat, that is when that comes out of the machine, it's just it really is. It's quintessential creemee. It is a very good flavor, a very good taste.
Yeah. Hannah, do you all stick with the 10% too?
Yes, yeah, for sure. We also use Kingdom Creamery.
Yeah, they're some of the best. Where are some of the other places you source your ingredients from? I mean, you both have mentioned some local purveyors, some local farmers who you get ingredients from.
Mostly local for Red Hen. We try to keep it as local as possible, including the wheat that we make our waffle cones from.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about cones. You make your own waffle cones. How do you do that? And can I do that at home with a waffle maker? Say yes.
Not like a normal waffle maker.
Okay,
maybe.
well, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Talk me through it.
So we set ourselves apart maybe by only serving our creamees and the cones that we make or a dish. We do not buy cones in. because we are primarily, or first, a bakery.
You're a bakery, yeah.
So we get all of our wheat from Joe Hescock in Shoreham, Vermont. He brings us the wheat. We mill it on site, actually. So it gets milled right there in the bakery. And then we make our waffle cone batter out of that. And then we hand roll every cone. Have you ever made pizzelles, like that Italian cookie that are really thin?
No.
So that's almost what the waffle cone iron looks like.
Oh,
it's
wow.
Very thin.
Very thin. Okay.
Yeah. And then we have the rollers that you roll up. So we've made over 31,000 waffle cones so far this summer.
Just this summer. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Wow. Okay. I'm going to have to come apprentice or something. Jess, I can imagine that you could not put a Dreamy onto a cone.
No, our Dreamy is on our cider donut. And so our cider donuts, they don't go through any machine. Our dough is hand mixed, or it's mixed and then it's hand rolled. Our cider donuts are hand cut, if you can believe that. Wow. Shout out to the team that's rolling donuts right now. And then cooked to order.
I see some ingredients.
Yes,
on the table
we
right
brought
here.
We brought Dreamies to share.
Wow. Okay. Can you talk us through tools of your trade?
I sure can. So, I had a bit of a drive here, so it's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. But when you come to the orchard, you are going to get a hot out of the fryer cider donut. So we start with that, and that goes into the bowl. And then
our producer just entered the studio ostensibly to film this process, but I think maybe also to get a Dreamy.
we have some here. So, and then we'll usually ask what flavor you would like on your Dreamy. I call the cider donut topped with maple the classic, because it really is the two quintessential Vermont flavors, a cider donut with the maple. But we also blend our own cider ice cream. So we use our own cider. A lot of people opt for the maple cider twist. So I brought in a little bit of maple and a little bit of cider, and we can make those Dreamies here. Hang on.
Amazing. Okay, you go for it. I'm going to take a call real quick. We have Sue in Woodstock calling in. Sue, what are your creamy thoughts?
Hi. I highly recommend Silver Lake Syrups in Barnard. They have not only amazing maple creamies from maple syrup they make themselves, but also birch syrup creamies.
Birch syrup creamies. I've never heard of those. Do they taste similar?
It's like a very, very light molasses taste.
Yeah.
And it's really delicious. I guess I learned from Eric, the owner, that it takes like 3 times as many gallons of birch sap to make the birch syrup. So they really go through quite an effort to make this birch syrup for their creamies.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much for telling us about it. And we got another recommendation for Silver Lake Syrups in Barnard from Eric and Sonia, who say that they even rent one of their creamy machines for their parties. We also got some shout outs on Instagram for Offbeat Creemee in Essex, Morse Farm Maple Sugar Works in Montpelier, Gondola's Snack Bar in Morristown, and many more that we'll continue to share throughout the hour. Should we get a Dreamy update? I just was handed something really beautiful.
So this Dreamy is our cider donut. It's got a dollop of our apple cider creaming. A dollop.
Dollop.
A healthy one.
A healthy dollop.
A healthy dollop of the apple cider creamy, and then some of the maple as well.
I just dove into apple cider. It's so good. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thanks.
What
Appreciate
a treat. I can imagine, Hannah, that opening a creamy window at the bakery has brought in like a whole new set of customers, and probably a really joyful set too. A lot of kids coming. Has it been a big boon for business there? I mean, I know lots of changes coming to Red Hen right now.
Yeah, it has been. It's brought us a lot of. It's our biggest growth area at the moment. We see sales growing every year at our creamy window. And you never hand someone a creamy and not get a smile. So it is maybe the most fun place in the building.
How often do you hand somebody a creamy and then I'm thinking kids here, and then they drop it immediately? Are people careful with this precious item?
I think more than drop it is that they put their fingers right through the cone, right?
Oh, so, like they grip it out of love so
They're a little less
far.
sturdy maybe than your typical.
Oh, it's like a kid trying to hold a butterfly, and then they just smush it.
But we'll always make them another one if that happens.
Yeah,
We'll get the smile in the end.
And Jess, I've been to Yates at the height of the apple picking season. It's just such a joyful place, and even on those days when it's everyone has their sweaters on and they're cold, they're still ordering these creemees.
Absolutely, we have we are biased because we live there, but it's an old orchard. It's been there, what I've been told, from the late 30s and early 40s. So it's a beautiful spot, and it's a great day to come and have a creemee and sit at a picnic table and relax, let kids play, and so we feel really lucky.
I just busted into the donut. It's so good. Thank you so much. Let's take another call here so everyone doesn't have to hear my mouth sounds. David in St. Johnsbury, go ahead.
Hi. I just am reminded of my first job back in 1960 was at Seward's Dairy Bar in Rutland, and we prided ourselves on entirely Vermont milk products, and I don't remember for sure, but I think we had 20% milk fat
20.
or maybe 24%.
Wow. All right.
It was a lovely place, and I hope it's still there.
Oh, what a great memory. Thank you for sharing that with us. Hannah, what happens when you bump it up to 24% milk fat?
I can't even
Chaos.
really imagine that, but I imagine butter balls in the churner blades.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll give it a try. All right. So, Hannah, I've heard that I'm going to have a bit of a hard time unless I get some special equipment making waffle cones at home. Is it possible to make creemees at home if you have an ice cream maker? Also, I'm getting a stern face.
I think that they make soft serve, like home soft serve makers now, but it's a different beast than churned ice cream.
Yeah.
When you blend flavors into the ice cream, I think you have to be careful of the amount of liquid, the amount of sugar, all those types of things. There's tipping points in various ways. It took us a while to get our cider creemee to a place where this is our cider creemee.
Right. Well, we would love to hear more of your creemee and ice cream recommendations from our region. I know you all have been busy this summer eating ice cream. Call in and tell us about your favorite spot to get a creemee. 800-639-2211 is our number. You can also email Vermont Edition at vermontpublic.org. We just got an email from Nick in Bennington who says that he was listening to the show and had to stop for a creemee at the Freeze in Bennington, where it's technically a soft serve, which is what they call it down there. Nick had a coffee black raspberry twist. Not a perfect pairing, he says, but great when I can't decide between the two. And then Christine in Pittsford says that she works at the Middlebury Natural Foods Co-op, where we sell Holy Halva, a delicious and sweet treat made from tahini and sweetened with Vermont maple syrup. I caught wind that this company has set up shop in Bristol with a creemee stand where you can get a creemee with Holy Halva topping. And what I believe I heard is sautéed bananas. That's a great rumor to spread, Christine, and I sure hope it's true. All right, we got to take a short break here. More ice cream and creemee tales when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Vermont Edition. I'm Michaela Lafrac. This late summer Thursday, we are talking dessert because why the heck not? It's Vermont Edition's annual ice cream show. Our guests are Hannah Connor with Red Hen Baking Company in Essex and Jess Yates with Yates Family Orchard in Moncton. And let's add one more voice to this conversation here. Amanda Ellis Thurber. She's the co-owner and operator of Lilac Ridge Farm in Brattleboro alongside her husband, Ross. Amanda, thanks for calling in.
Hi, Michaela. It's great to be here.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about your farm and your business?
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm super honored to be on your show and speak for the whole farm and our gratitude for your program and for highlighting maple creemees.
Thanks.
A really important part of Vermont culture and food tradition. Yeah, so, and I'm even more stoked that the Creemee Chronicler came to our farm.
Yes.
I had to look back in the Instagram and be like, hey, that was us. That's when
loved
she was
it.
here. Yeah, so my husband Ross and I have a diversified organic farm here in Brattleboro, Vermont. A lot of people in Vermont think of Brattleboro as a metropolis, but believe it or not, we have about over 33 miles of gravel roads on which our farm is on. So you can find a lot of off the beaten path places in Brattleboro and small farms, and not as many dairy farms as we used to, but there are a few. So we sugar. We have an organic dairy farm. We sell to Stonyfield Yogurt as of November. Prior to that, we sold to Organic Valley Cooperative since 2007. We raise 8 acres of mixed organic vegetables, fruit, flowers, and we have a farm stand. We also have an Airbnb that's farm stays for families to come and enjoy the farm experience. We have a tiny vineyard that my brother-in-law has. He sells to Lagarista Winery. What else do we have? We have so many side hustles, and Christmas trees. So,
Wow. And I
we've
hear
been
you developed your own creamy mix for your creamies a few years back too. How did that come about?
So this is a great story, and it's a story of collaboration between 2 organic farms down here in southern Vermont. Pete Miller of the Miller Farm, who I think you've interviewed, or he's been on various Vermont stuff, started processing their own milk in addition to their wholesale milk production. And Pete said, hey, I'm thinking of making a soft serve mix, and would you be interested? And we had sort of thought, well, what's going to be our next diversification to increase cash flow on our farm? Because I imagine a lot of your listeners know that we've lost a significant amount of organic dairy farms. In fact, 2022 and 2023 were our worst. We lost about 41 farms. So we were thinking about a way to bring cash flow into the farm, and soft serve was an option. Pete was a magician. 25 or 30 tries of research and development to perfect an certified organic creamy mix. The only other place that sells certified organic creamy, I believe, is in California, the Strauss Family Creamery. But this is his invention, so we add our dark amber certified organic maple syrup to his vanilla base. And then he also makes a chocolate, so we sell chocolate, and we're very simple in the flavors on our farm. You can get maple, chocolate, or a twist of maple chocolate. Additionally, we do have an amazing topping that's made by a local chocolatier called Tavernier Chocolates. Dar and John invented something called dirt, and that is a favorite topping. But otherwise,
I
we
think
keep
of
it
dirt
pretty
as like
simple.
crunched up Oreo cookies. Is that what we're talking here?
Tavernier's dirt is crushed chocolate, Ecuadorian cocoa powder, smoked sea salt, and maple sugar.
Okay, that's a step far above Oreos.
Yeah, it's really popular.
Okay, I have to ask everybody here real quick while we're talking toppings. Are you a toppings on your ice cream kind of person, or do you just go straight creamy? Hannah?
I like toppings, specifically chocolate sprinkles for
chocolate
me.
Sprinkles. Jess?
Oh, definitely toppings. It's our hot fudge is pretty good. I'd say that's a favorite, but so is the apple, the pie filling.
Yeah. And Amanda?
I pretty much straight up, unless it's maple sugar or Tavernier's dirt or our dark amber maple syrup drizzled on top.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Amanda, before we let you get back to work, I am just curious if what the interplay is between the creamy business and your dairy farm. And do you get customers kind of going, coming to your creamy business and then learning more about your farm's other offerings? Can, kids come say hi to the animals while they're there?
Yeah, it's the greatest marriage. It's been wonderful. We have been asked to take we sell out of a little 7 by 12 foot creamy truck. And we have been asked to go on the road. And I say, really, our mission is to bring people on the farm. And so when people come to the farm, they can visit the baby calves in the barn. If they're there during milking time, they can watch milking. Usually there's a barn kitten or two to snuggle with. There's pick your own cut flowers. And so it creates an environment of community. We also made like a little creemee cafe so people can be in our farm just on tables outdoors, and often like to take in the sunset and just enjoy the peace on the farm. And it's been a very dry summer.
Yeah.
Down in southern Vermont, challenging for growing, but I have to say, great for selling ice cream. So in any diversified system, something's up, something's down. Ice cream was definitely up this year, and we're so grateful and feeling super blessed about that.
Well, we're glad to hear that. Amanda Ellis Thurber is with Lilac Ridge Farm in Brattleboro. Amanda, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We just got an email from a well-known ice cream connoisseur, creemee connoisseur specifically, Emily, who lives in Cornwall. Emily says that they came up with a personal system called Maple Creemee Facts. F is for flavor. A is for atmosphere of the creemee stand. C for creaminess, basically milk fat content. T for texture and temperature. Did it refreeze or is it too warm and melts easily? And S for size. What do you get for $5? That's the Facts rating system, hopefully getting trademarked soon by Emily in Cornwall. Let's go next to Mike in Elmore. Mike, go ahead. Hi, Mike. Are you with us?
Much for having me on.
There we go.
I'm enjoying the programming. Oh, yeah. Mike in Lake Elmore. Yeah, I just wanted a quick plug for our local creemee spots, the Elmore Sugar House, which in my opinion is the best maple creemee in all the land. I think they use Kingdom Creamery maple base with a good portion of their own on-site maple syrup that they make there. And the Elmore store, which has really good chocolate and vanilla twist.
Well, thank you so much for calling and sharing those recommendations. And I also want to let folks know that on Wednesday, September 10th, Vermont Edition is going to be live from the Elmore store. It's part of our Town by Town series. So hopefully we'll be getting some creamies there as well. And you can come visit and say hi. That's Wednesday, September 10th at noon. Mike, we hope you come by. Let's go next to Parker in Huntington. Parker, go ahead.
Hey there, long-time listener, first-time caller. I tuned in to right when you were talking about Yates, and
Yes.
I'm a yoga teacher at Sangha Studio, and this will be my 5th season teaching yoga at Yates on Sundays right under the willow tree. And what I wanted to communicate was that I hope the people are coming, of course, for yoga, but they always seem to stay for the creamies, and it seems like Yates over the past 5 seasons has created newer and better and more delicious concoctions. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the partnership between Sangha Studio and Yates, and it's been such a joy to be part of the process.
Oh, Parker, thank you for sharing that. Jess, I imagine you know of this partnership well.
Absolutely. Thanks, Parker. We appreciate having you. And yoga has been great. It's down by a willow tree we call Big Will. Yeah, it's a special time.
Oh, yoga followed by a dreamy sounds like the perfect self-care regimen.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to do it. Hannah, I know that, as we mentioned earlier, there's a lot of change going on at Red Hen. Could you tell us a little bit more about the move and what's coming next for the business?
Sure. So we have rented a building just maybe a quarter mile up the road. So instead of turning left, you turn right. It is double the space, and right now it's where Farmers to You was. So it's just kind of a big empty warehouse right now that we get to build out to fit our needs, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And we keep growing and we keep running out of space. We had pizza nights with a table propped up on things that I had to crawl under to get to my office. There's just not enough room for everything we're trying to do. So it'll be really exciting to have more space. And right now the goal is March for the move, but that's if everything goes according to plan. And we all know with construction that sometimes doesn't happen exactly on schedule. So
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed
Fingers
for
crossed.
that. And Jess, what is your vision for the business as you move forward? You've had such a exciting couple of years. I know the Dreamy was mentioned in the New York Times, and every time I visit there, it seems like you have lots of folks. But of course, business is tough these days, no matter what.
We have last season we built a room to create our cider. What it did was it also allowed to open up a rooftop deck, which we completed. We have a beautiful Adirondack view, Bristol Valley view. So that deck is open for folks to enjoy for events, things like that. So we look to host more things on farm to bring people to that spot to really to enjoy it.
Let me share a couple more recommendations that we've gotten in our inbox today for our ice cream and creamy show. Em in Burlington says her favorite, hands down, is Offbeat Ice Cream in Essex. Their non-dairy creamy is everything. Prior to them opening up, I never got the chance to have a creamy in Vermont, and not to mention it's addictively delicious. Caroline in St. George wants to shout out the Cone Artist, which is part of the Mill Market on Dorset Street in South Burlington. They create their own recipes, and they don't make it too sweet, which Caroline likes. They use a local dairy supplier, and they even offer 2 non-dairy flavors, which taste amazing. And then lastly, Nancy in Hanover, New Hampshire recently visited Red Clover Cafe in Thetford. She says it was the very best maple creamy she's ever enjoyed in her 27 years living in Vermont and 5 in the Upper Valley. And she helpfully points out that they are only open Thursdays through Saturdays, 11 to 2 through the end of September. Okay, that brings me, I guess, we should mention the tough news, which is the eventual end of the creamy and ice cream season. Jess, when will you all be serving up creamies until?
So it's our opening day today, which is super exciting. We are open every single day through the end of October. Some folks come and get a creamy and a dreamy every day.
Oh my gosh!
And what I always say is that apple season is short, dreamy season is short. So there's no shame in a daily dreamy.
And Hannah?
We plan to go through Indigenous Peoples Weekend to capture all those leaf-peeping tourists. And then we will
That's mid-October?
Yeah, mid-October. Mm-hmm. And then we hope to do a run of holiday flavors right around the holidays.
Oh, what kind of holiday flavors are we talking?
Peppermint, gingerbread, eggnog, maybe, stuff like that.
I've also heard tell of a pumpkin spice flavor.
That is our last flavor of the season into October, yep.
Can you hype it up a little bit? Because that sounds so good.
Yeah, like real pumpkin and real spices. We don't use syrups or anything like that.
This isn't your Starbucks pumpkin spice.
Exactly.
That sounds amazing. Thank you both so much for joining me today to talk creamies and ice cream. We had Hannah Connor with Red Hen Baking Company in Middlesex. Hannah, thank you, and good luck in the move too.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, lots coming down the pike for Red Hen. We also have Jess Yates with the Yates Family Orchard in Moncton. As Jess mentioned, today is their opening day, so be sure to go get a dreamy from Yates. Thank you so much, Jess.
Thanks so much. We appreciate you having us.
All right, and out of respect to this topic, I'm going to keep eating this large bowl of ice cream and cider donut that I have in front of me. So let's wrap this up now. We will be making a big old list of all of these ice cream and creamy recommendations that we've collected today and put in on our website, vermontpublic.org. So you will be able to find those very soon. And if you didn't get a chance to share your recommendation with us, you can still email it in to Vermont Edition at vermontpublic.org. We'd love to see some photos of your cones as well. Today's show was directed by Aaliyah Papes. John Ahrens is our managing producer. Andrea Lorian and Daniela Fierro are our producers. Our call screener today was Rick Barrett, and our theme music is by Myra Flynn. I'm Michaela Lafrac. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch up again soon.